No, it tried to disconnect it. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. How early can you get out of here? That's early. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's one of the latest. 4 o'clock. We just finished up with the city of San Antonio City Council session. A session, not B. So this is Thursday where they vote. It's not citizens to be heard on Wednesday evening. Rather, it's Thursday when they do the actual voting. And of course,
you know.
And of course, we're in the 88th State Legislative Program 2023, so they voted on it, and they made it very clear they make it as broad as possible so they can address issues as need be. And one of my comments, that I asked them, and I think it got to them because they addressed it, is the state of Texas is an integral partner to San Antonio as the city prepares for future growth to seek expand economic development, affordable housing, sustainable infrastructure, health and safety, and quality of life. The city of San Antonio legislative priorities are listed below, can only be accomplished in a collaboration and alignment with the governor, legislator, and state agencies. I read that statement and I asked him, then why do you need lobbyists? Asked it twice. Why are you fighting them? You see, because if you think about this, we can argue all day long on transportation, all this kind of stuff, but when it comes down to the intrinsic evils, or the intrinsic issues, I should say, and that those intrinsic issues are life, are to defend ourselves and bear arms and things of this nature, that's already settled. As a matter of fact, Clayton Perry even made that point. He's already settled. In fact, I'll take a typical Democrat line from the past is, abortion's law of the land. Well, if that's the same thing holds true here, then bearing arms is the law of the land, at least in Texas. And life is the law of the land in Texas, period. And so that's what they're having a problem with. That's what we have a problem with, and really boils down to this. You know that every single citizen of San Antonio is going to be paying money, our taxpayer money, your taxpayer money, all of our taxpayer money, to hire a lobbyist and to pay for, I kept on calling her Sally, I don't know who she is, but her team. We're paying for them to go up to Austin and not advocate for as much piece of the pie as San Antonio gets, because I don't think anyone can dispute that. We want someone advocating for us, and it's a necessary thing. If there's state funds available, we want to make sure San Antonio is one of them. We don't want Harris County sucking up all the oxygen. So that's a legitimate thing. But when it comes to intrinsic issues, that's where the San Antonio Family Association and the city go sideways. Because they're calling it women's reproductive health. The question is, don't you have to reproduce to have reproductive health? I've heard that somewhere. I don't know where you have to reproduce. There has to be reproduction to be able to have reproductive health. And we all know that is code word for abortion. We all know that. And so some of the discussion was about this issue, and of course they moved forward anyway and they passed it. And I think the only dissenter, was Clayton Perry. Is that right? The only dissenter. So if you get a chance, thank Clayton Perry. But he might have had some cover, who knows. Here's some of the things that we want to bring out, and I put this up on the screen. And it's very difficult. We've passed this out before. And you can see there are 3 lines. This was looked at by an accounting firm here in town. And the three lines, the top line is blue, the middle line is red, and the bottom line is blue. So I just want you to focus on the revenue, the bottom line, blue, and the red. And so what this is saying is we are literally, the margin between debt and revenue, meaning tax revenue, is literally widening ever more. And you can see by the year 2019, the red, which is debt, we're up to whatever it is, 6 point whatever billion dollars, and our revenue, tax revenue, is right at $2 billion, if I recall. A little over $2 billion. There you go, 2.3 is what the number was. That's alarming. Those are trending lines. That's what we call it in the financial world. Those are lines that are trending, and that margin between the two are trending further and further apart. So the question is, should we send somebody to Austin to get us more money? And the answer is yes. Look at this chart. It tells you we should. What else does it tell us? It tells us that we are barely floating above. And when we got off the rails, it was all the way back in 1980, early 90s. We went off the rail.
After the Alamo Dome.
The Alamo Dome, and Henry Cisneros is where that bond, that pump is. And we've been off the rail with Harberger, been off the rail with Castro, been off the rail with Taylor, and
certainly now with Nuremberg.
Oh, no, it's, like I said, this was us at in 2019, I believe. Yeah, 2019. So we have major trending. You know, there are trending lines that give us all kinds of indication that we're headed for some kind of falling off the cliff. And so what I want to just point out now, thank you, Mr. Cameraman, what I want to point out now is, how does that happen? How does this happen? It happens like this, and I'll just read this to you. It was August of 2022. Oh, just a couple of months ago. The little engine that couldn't. California's high-speed rail cost rises to $200 million per mile. You heard that? $200 million per mile. At the cost of now over $200 billion. $200 billion for the total project so far. They've spent that. $200 billion, if ever completed, is going to have a high-speed rail that goes from LA to San Francisco in 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. How did this happen? Well, this is not a partisan issue, just like the things we're talking about today. They're not partisan issues. They've made them political, but they're not partisan issues. The system is supposed to be operational 2020. That means 2 years ago. They started on this program by literally breaking ground on property they didn't even own. Ranchers still owned it, and they didn't even have it. And so what's interesting here is this all started with a bond issue, and it was a simple $10 billion state bond issue. Of course, they had all the mayors and the city councils behind them. So what happened? The better question is, what didn't happen? They go on to claim that there was mismanagement all the way along, and none of the players are there anymore. You can't even find the players anymore. You can't find the contractors, subcontractors. Heck, the governor is gone, and that's why I say it's a nonpartisan issue. The governor was who? None other than Schwarzenegger, who is a rhino Republican. So it's not a partisan issue. And this particular project is going to eventually be done, I'm sure, but it's going to be in $300 to $400 billion range or what have you. Make no mistake about it, the federal government currently, as we speak, is bailing them out. So bad fiscal policy also hits the rest of us. For you that remember, in 2015, the San Antonio Family Association was part of a coalition of organizations and the Responsible Government Coalition to fight the light rail here in San Antonio. That was 3 miles of track for $880 million at that point in time. 3 miles of track, $880 million. So this does happen locally as well. Thank you. I forgot to mention that. So really what this is all about is this was California's electric, non-gas powered way of getting cars off of the freeway and get them onto the rail, and it was going to solve everything. They call it the HSR, that's high speed rail. And it was a total flop. So it's a real cabal. I mean, there's a secret society that wants to put this through when it comes to politicians, and yet none of them are there to be found, 10 years, 12 years later. And so that's what we stand for. But we stand for that. What I gave you is a prudential judgment issue. We can take it or leave it. It's not a big deal. But when it comes to intrinsic issues like abortion, like defending my family against an aggressor, to match the aggressor's weapon of choice, which is typically a gun, and those are intrinsic issues, and I have rights, God-given rights for those. Just like the baby, it doesn't matter if it's 2 cells together at fertilization, or 2 weeks, or 2 months, or 2 years. It doesn't matter. That baby is a person. So if Texas has settled the life issue, again, I'll end with my question: why are we sending lobbyists? Why are we hiring lobbyists? Why are you taking our tax dollars and participating in pushing Austin to make abortion legal somehow? Or maybe ways in which we can scoop them up and send them out to New Mexico to get abortions, what have you. So I'd like now to turn over the mic to Jack Finger here. And Jack's going to tell you a little bit about what he addressed and what he wanted to address, ran out of time. And then Patrick Von Dolan will wrap it up at the end. Jack Finger.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Jack Finger. I come down to City Council meetings routinely, take down the issues. What happened here is that the City Council is spending our tax dollars to support abortion. Now, in the past, they issued a resolution a few months ago. That was just a statement of policy. It didn't really do much more than just state something. Today, they have decided to use your tax dollars to kill babies with, to advocate for the murder of unborn babies. That's what they've done today. You need to remember this the next time you vote in a city council election. Which candidate has voted for these bad things, and which candidate will be against such bad things. They tried to do this today, and consequently, they not just tried to advocate money for this today, but they also tried to advocate money for lobbying for so-called gun mitigation and so forth. It's all very vague. We don't know what exactly that means. Does it mean the repeal of the concealed carry here in the state? Does it mean the promotion of so-called gun buyback programs that they passed a few years ago here in the city? Does it mean the repeal of the Second Amendment that they want to advocate for? We don't know. Answers are going to be few and far between. Other parts of this document they're sending across with our tax dollars is supposedly supporting and protecting so-called non-discrimination laws. Yes, we passed, 9 years ago, we fought against the city's attempt to give special rights to homosexuals. It was called the so-called non-discrimination law ordinance here in San Antonio. We, the Christians, built up this chamber in back of me. It was the biggest story of 2013 as per WOAI radio. We, the Christians, prefer the city council do not pass such a perverted ordinance. We didn't listen to us. It passed by about 8 to 3, I think the margin was. Consequently, because we do not want laws placing sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes. Today, what they're doing is they want to go ahead and quite a few conscientious Christians lost that fight, and we've been thinking about it ever since. Consequently, we don't know what they want to do, but they want to essentially again protect the status quo, homosexuals, and city government employment, and also protect the status quo, homosexuals, and transgender, and lesbians in private companies that do business with the city. Now, ever since then, the homosexual community has been asking the city government to extend those benefits, to extend those privileges to all private companies here in San Antonio. Will the city lobby for such up in Austin as well? Will the city lobby against legislators who try to protect boys from going into girls' locker rooms and playing on girls' sports teams? For the city to protect you and I from such travesty. And this is what could be happening once again with your tax dollars. Another big travesty that happened today. They want to protect the climate against so-called climate change. Well, we are still waiting for some big answers on that. We're still waiting for proof that climate change still occurs. We're still waiting for an optimal temperature that somebody can tell us what is needed for to prove the status on climate change. So the city council have drank the Kool-Aid. They're hoping the legislature will drink that Kool-Aid too. But the thing is, they're still wasting your tax dollars on this stuff. If you think like we do and are extremely outraged by what is going on here, well, you too may want to remember this, that next time you vote for a candidate for city government here in the city of San Antonio. That's my time. So, thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Jack. I'm going to put this up real quick and see if it'll come through. So we showed there was the motion carried, and that's item number 27 from today's agenda, November 3rd, 2023. Motion carried, yeas were 10, nays were 1. The one nay was Clayton Perry, and I'll tell you, I want to come out and do that because this legislative agenda that was passed today by the city of San Antonio, it's a political statement. It's not what's good for the people of San Antonio. It's what suits their political bias. There is an election coming up in just a few days. Today's November 3rd, it's November 8th. In 5 days from now, in a very political stunt put forward by this city council, this very ultra-progressive city council. And we can negotiate, as Mike said, on prudential judgment issues. We might not like, and I certainly don't like, the so-called green energy. It's not reliable. We all lived through the February freeze of 2021, what they like to call Winter Storm Uri, URI. And but that February freeze, we found out how local efforts to change and go to electric only did not work then. It's not going to work because we have more people in the city of San Antonio and a greater population throughout Bear County and even Comal County, where Mike lives, where CPS Energy serves or failed to serve in the February freeze. But we can't even support what we have now. And while we're in the meeting, I got another notice, you might have as well, a text from CPS Energy that said there's changing weather coming, and we want you to be aware that this is a problematic time that we might not be able to cover the energy. So really interesting. It says this is a message from CPS Energy. We're preparing for possible weather impacts in your area overnight into Friday. Our crews are on standby to respond safely and quickly around outages if outages should occur. And we ask for your patience as we work in possible dangerous driving and working conditions. Stay safe. Report a problem here, and they give you a link. That's what they spend their time doing now. Can anybody remember since 1997, since I lived in San Antonio, we never had messages like this. CPS Energy provided energy to us, lower cost or higher cost throughout the state because it's a monopoly. Regardless, they supplied us with power. And it wasn't until 2018 when the City Council passed, in 2017 when the City Council passed the Paris Climate Accord resolution, and then in 2018 the Climate Action Adaptation Plan to change CPS directive to go to electric, wind, and solar that did not provide energy in the February freeze of 2021. And now they want to promote that at state legislature even more so. Yet we can agree to disagree on that matter because it is a prudential judgment matter. What I do want to talk about are three issues: life, liberty, and guns. Our Second Amendment. Life. Reproductive health care is code word, as Mike said, is code word for abortion. This legislative agenda is intended to send a message to the state of Texas that passed the Human Life Protection Act of 2021 that in the event that Roe v. Wade should be overturned, which it was on June 24th through the release of the Dobbs decision, that the Human Life Protection Act will protect all babies in the state of Texas. And how awesome that is. Glory be to God and good for the state legislature. The problem is what's happening right now is state legislators are receiving pressure, even Republicans are receiving pressure right now to implement a rape and incest exception in that Human Life Protection Act in the next legislative session. One of the things that they'll be doing with your taxpayer dollars is not only promoting abortion, but promoting the killing of innocent human beings who have been conceived through rape and incest. And you might say, well, I don't believe that a woman who's raped should have to go through and endure that. I will tell you, the healthiest thing a woman can do that's pregnant is give birth to the baby she's sharing space with right now. Abortions will go up fivefold, and evidence shows, scientific evidence shows, that women like this, defending the family, promoting the family, protecting the family, go to Facebook/San Antonio Family Association and get this information every single day. You have to actually go to it every day. It's not going to feed because, as you can imagine, Facebook has shadow banned us, just like Twitter and everybody else, because we're truth seekers, and they don't like the truth. They are ideological seekers, and they do not want the truth. So, again, if you want some more information, go to SanAntonioFamilyAssociation.com. If you have time or relatively time, give us a call. We can put you to work. If you happen to be blessed with some extra dollars, any amount is greatly appreciated. Go to SanAntonioFamilyAssociation.com to hit the donate button, and we'll say prayers for you. Every time you get a donation, we say prayers for you. So if you get a hold of us, give us a call.
Oh, hold on real quick.
There's a problem with our audio because our system is low in batteries. When it throws up an error, it doesn't record. So real quick, 3 issues we can discuss. Prudential judgment issues all day long, just like Mike said. Those prudential judgment issues are matters of choice. But there are intrinsic issues that are above our human rights and our human decision making, because they are unalienable rights that come from God. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness is part of that. Property, private property. But life, we cannot allow our city of San Antonio to spend, city council to spend our taxpayer dollars promoting abortion. It's unacceptable. It harms a woman and always kills a baby, and eradicates the responsibility of a new dad to fulfill his role to protect and provide. Second, liberty. The city wants to promote special class protections through non-discrimination ordinance and promotion of it. They fought the protection and the privacy of bathrooms, facilities in 2017 when the state tried to push it through. We have to protect women and children in bathrooms and in female sports to make sure there's dignity in women, for women, and dignity in women's sports, and that people are all treated equally because we're all human beings, not because we're a chosen way of life, and no special class protections. Third, our pursuit of happiness comes from being able to have legitimate defense and protecting yourselves in the Second Amendment, and to take on a government that's gone rogue, if necessary, if it ever came to that. In this case, we need to be able to protect our families, our domiciles, our neighbors, and our country. We have a right to keep and bear arms. We need to fight for that. The city has no business promoting and spending our taxpayer dollars promoting anti-constitutional, progressive, and Democrat agendas. We need your support. We need your help. This is free to you, but it comes with a cost. There's cost to doing it. It's taking a whole day of our time. But cost in equipment, in communications, email communications, texting communications, website communications, part-time labor to help get that done. It takes a lot of time, energy, and resources that have cost, and we need your financial support. SanAntonioFamilyAssociation.com/donate. That part is just going to be cut off, not be heard, so thanks, Mike. I think that's it. Appreciate your time and attention, and pray for us and our effectiveness, and if you need some information, let us know. Thank you.